Welcome back to Spyro 3 Reignited. Today we're going to be wrapping up the rest of Midday Gardens with the Speedway stage, the boss fight, and the Spark stage.
Fun. I mean, I do have to give you credit. At least this time, the episode isn't too ridiculously long.
Oh, shut up.
If I shut up, there wouldn't be any content.
Yeah, basically the speedways are essentially the same thing as normal with the races and the time tax. Basically, you always start with flying through rings and that stuff.
Okay, I do remember playing this stage. The aesthetic is quite memorable.
Yeah, it's weird that they have a country-based speedway stage.
Yeah.
It's just really weird.
Then again, there's just something natural about, flying through a barn. Even though... I mean... I don't know.
I have no idea why the pigs on tractors have straight tails when they're supposed to be pigs.
Wait, those are pigs? I thought they looked like eggs from the backside.
Yeah, I know they're pigs.
Not very convincing looking ones.
Yeah, that's really weird. I mean, you can tell that the pigs are in the plains, but not on the tractors. And yes, the signs the cows had were no dragons.
I wonder why they would do Spyro like that.
I almost failed that. I almost failed that.
I take you're in shock when recording.
Yeah, I was, because 1.1 second left.
Yeah, that's like orgasm worthy right there. Okay. Like that's the kind of thing where once you do it, you're like, ugh.
And now I'm at the special number for eggs.
I will say though, it's quite progressive from Activision to make them biplanes.
Oh. Boo.
Like what? Were they heterosexual planes in the original version?
No.
Then what were they?
Biplanes.
Oh, so they were biplanes in the original version too. Wow, how progressive of Insomniac.
God damn it, Edgy.
Yeah, that's PS1 generation we're talking about. Back then, like LGBT hate was all the rage.
And this is also the first race with missiles. Basically, they just lock onto the closest target and work about as long as flaming them.
Okay, for a moment I thought they weren't homing missiles.
No, they're homing missiles.
Imagine if they weren't.
That makes these so much worse.
Yeah.
So it's considering how some of them take almost every fucking boost star, and I hate that. Especially when you get to the final one.
Do you have to be first place, or do they
You have to be first place. You have to be first place.
Okay, you have to be first place.
And it's why I hate the fact that we all start in a line.
Yeah.
Because it's just, that's not a race. If you're going to do that, then just give me one person to race.
I mean, to be fair, the one thing that I tend to dislike from a lot of these sections is that they not only in this game, but basically any racing game you play out there, you start in the last place, and it's like, why am I starting in last place? I get it, it's, you know, to give me an extra challenge, but like, realistically speaking, like in real life, if you were a racer, you don't always get placed in last place. So, like, why am I on 12th place? Like, why couldn't I be 9th or 7th? You know, I'm not even.
Go ahead, finish your thought.
Like, I'm not even saying that I should be in first place specifically, but like, why last place?
I don't mind it if we're all starting at the same spot, like in Crash Team Racing, Mario Kart, those games. But in the thing when we're all straight moving ahead like these, there's no point to me being in last. I should in last. And I also barely won that. Another barely orgasm moment. No, okay. Okay, doing it in the time tag was fine. Doing it in the race is bullshit.
Hi, Shemp. But yeah, the reason why I'm complaining about always being last place is because a lot of racing games that I play out there, like Forza, Test Drive Unlimited, Need for Speed, they all have the tradition of putting you in the last place. Granted, Forza. Oh, great! They hit another challenge in here, didn't they?
Every stage has a hunter mission.
Hi, Hunter. Right, but yeah, at least the one thing that Forza does right is if you're in a championship, the moment you get like in first place on your first race, all the consecutive races on the championship, you'll be in the place where you're standing in the championship. So
that's what Mario Kart does for the Grand Prix races, and what GTR does for trophy races.
Yeah. No, that's a pretty good system. Although, again, I would really appreciate if they just like make it based on a dice roll or something, you know?
Maybe.
Although I say that, but I don't know how Forza Motorsport does it. Because Forza Motorsport is a racing simulation game. Forza Horizon is the game that I tend to play, and that's just open world fun. And Gran Turismo 7, I have it on PS5, but I haven't booted it up yet. But that's also because the game is ridiculously big, and I essentially had to move it to the external drive so I could install. I think it was Stranger of Paradise. Either that or it was Mouthwash Anarchy. I do need to get a internal SSD for the PS5. Like I
haven't needed one.
No, but like, how many games do you have on PS5?
Just the ones I'm currently playing.
Right. Yeah. Well, the problem that I'm having is that I have to also keep my father's games in mind.
True.
And he's really into sport games. And for whatever reason, sport games love getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So there's like, I want to say 200 gigabytes of the 825 available storage. Like I still feel like I'm not saying that I don't get why the PS5 has as little storage as it does. But, like, they really should have made it more. But then if they made it more, the console would have been more expensive. But we've got to a point where SSD storage has gotten way cheaper. Like, a Samsung 980 drive of 2 terabytes, you can nowadays get it for, like, I want to say $140 for 2 terabyte of, like, full PS5 capable speed.
Systems checked out A-OK. Jump aboard.
But yeah,
basically, the vehicle for the next world automatically replaces the vehicle of the previous world. So basically, the Whirly Gig is now our vehicle until we get Evening Lake's vehicle set up.
All
And
right.
then that one is just basically the final vehicle period.
Idiotic.
Are you able to change the vehicle once you've finished the game?
For some strange reason, no.
Fail me.
For
Miss
some
Op-
strange reason, no. It's always the rocket you get from Evening Lake,
Don't
which
worry about it. I'll
is
deal with
weird.
them now.
Missed opportunity.
These eggs can't be worth
Yeah.
all this trouble.
Without the dragons, the magic in this world will wither away. Without magic, I'll die. And so will your ever slim chance of becoming a sorceress. Now, watch how a real sorceress dispatches her enemies.
You mean philosopher, right?
Hey, you merciless
Shut up.
miscreants.
No.
How would you like some dragon for lunch?
Why, if I had my club, you'd all be in for...
God damn. Like, that face is passable. But I know some people who would really love to get their hands on that chest.
I never understood why she asked the Rhino she turns into Spike. How would you like dragon flesh? Do the Rhinox eat dragons? What the hell?
Man, I mean, I do wonder what dragon meat tastes like.
I would think it would be like alligator. Anyway, welcome to
You sure?
Spike's Arena. Basically, for the first part, you're just launching these balls at him.
Like,
Yes. His shots can destroy the balls.
I'm pretty sure the dragon meat tastes like chicken. I mean, everything tastes like chicken. And chicken stem from dinosaurs, apparently. And aren't dragons just some sort of dinosaur?
True. After the second hit,
Of
and
course,
after the third
of course, everybody knows that dinosaurs never existed, but, you know, who am I to argue?
After the second hit, Sergeant Bird will start dropping crystals. Just like with Gulp in Spyro 2, Spike can use the crystals as well.
Right, but he also dropped chickens, which give you health, which you desperately needed.
Which I do not believe that Spike can use.
Well,
I do not believe that Spike can use the chickens.
well, of course not, because that would be stupid.
I actually kind of got really lucky and did not have Spike go for the crystals in this match, because, like I said, he does. I believe the blue one he shoots a. Oh wait, no, the red ones he shoots a flaming dragon, a flaming dragon-esque. And hello, glitch. I have no idea what caused that one.
All right, so I have a question regarding pretty much the entire trilogy. How much did they touch upon the bosses going from original to remake? Are they one-to-one the same, or did they make some adjustments here and there?
They're one-to-one the same, except for some reason they made Gulp's hitboxes a lot worse.
Right, well, Activision has a knack for making hitboxes worse, apparently. Like, that's...
And you cannot skip this one. There is no... You're not landing in a thing, so you automatically will have to see this Bianca talk. Unlike between Sunrise Spring and Midday Garden.
I mean it. Just take Hunter and go back home before.
How did she learn Hunter's name?
I can't say it. Just go.
How did she learn Hunter's name?
I mean, she's a wizard.
True.
Or
Yeah, so now
Wait, hang on. Is Wizard a like
which?
I was wondering if wizard was a gender neutral term, but I think that wizard is for male and witch is for female. We need a gender neutral term for those two.
Bro, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what was up with that. I have no idea why everyone was standing there like idiots, and then all of a sudden they just disappeared.
They realized they too had to be in the new world or something like that.
No, I don't know. And anyway, now we go back. This one's kind of the more annoying one to get because the stage is kind of a loop.
Hi, Spyro. Hi, Spark.
Yeah.
A single wave loop. Unlike basically how Sunrise Spring had it right at the beginning. Right at where the balloon was. And we'll see where Evening Lake and Midnight Mountain have theirs, but they are not in bad spots. This one, honestly, I think is the worst one to get to because of how just how non-double backing this is. But welcome to the second Sparks level, Spider Town. So it's kind of a good thing that D-pad is not here. Although I don't think he'd be scared of these spiders.
I mean, it depends. I do feel like a lot of people who have arachnophobia, I keep forgetting them. Arachnophobia. Whatever. It depends on the way the critters are drawn. You know, something like Skyrim has them a bit on the realistic side. Spider-Man 1 on the intro, it legitimately shows a spider, but for stuff like this, when the spiders are like heavily cartoonized,
yeah,
I don't know. It depends.
Which makes me wonder how he'll react to Paragoma in Twilight Princess and the Cursed House in Ocarina of Time.
Not to forget about Moffat from Undertale, which I do need to continue recording.
Well, you're gonna play Undertale for the channel?
Yeah, I've already started recording it. I thought I told you.
No.
Oh, well, at the time of recording, I'm still at the Goat Mommy section.
So you barely started.
But I started. I barely started, but I still started. And you'd be surprised. Like, Undertale is, just because I'm at a tutorial, Undertale is something that I can record in like one session. It's one of those games, you know. Like,
yeah,
I can start recording, and before I know it, I'm halfway there.
I think that's that's the same thing I took when recording this.
Yeah, I mean, again, I was kind of with you on there for the first two games, but like I don't know, like I do feel like if I put myself to it, I could return to it. Like, the fact that we still haven't hit the part where I dropped out does indicate that I got at least 50% of the game.
Yeah.
And I definitely got my money's worth.
Oh yeah, no, these are.
But
right now, apparently, we this is the 25th anniversary for the series, by the way. And honestly, I'm hoping to see news of lore for this.
If that will happen.
Considering it's Activision, I see this month going as about as lack of newsy as Atlas's plan for Persona's 25th anniversary.
Hey, at least we've got something.
Yeah, bringing 3 and 4 to modern consoles, and that's it.
I will say though, like, I'm not saying that Persona 3 does need a remake, but they brought out Persona 3 Portable, so you have a way to play it on modern systems. You know what you cannot play on modern systems?
The first 2. Well, the first 3.
The first and the first and the two
First 3.
and the two twos.
The first 3.
Yeah.
For those confused, what the hell I mean, 2 was actually split into 2 different games: Eternal Punishment and Innocent Sin. Innocent Sin was the one brought to the PS1, but we did not get Eternal. Wait, no, hold on.
Basically, one never got localized, but then it did when it got released on the PSP. So the first part of Persona 2 was only available on the PS1, and the second part was only available on the PSP. Am I saying that right?
Yeah. Eternal Punishment, the second of the 2 games, was brought to America on the PlayStation, but not on the PSP. While Innocent Sin, the first game, was brought to us on the PSP, but not on PS1.
And then Persona 1 got a remake on the PSP, but apparently that...
And that was brought to America.
Right. But I do hear a lot of people complaining about how one of the versions of Persona 1 got hit by the censors.
Oh, fuck yeah. The original version of Persona, they literally turned Mark black.
Well, I could that be considered a censor?
No. It's for some random fucking reason they just made one of the characters black.
Right. I mean, I'm not the kind of person to complain about a character suddenly turning black. I mean, yeah,
I'm not either, but
like
my
problem.
Made no sense.
Like my problem is when they change the name or and I know that by saying this I could potentially piss off a lot of people. But the one thing I don't like is like I'm all for being open and having more important roles be given to black people or women or trans people, but don't change already established characters. That's
just for no reason.
Yeah.
It's really fucking weird. That they just randomly just made Mark black.
Yeah. I mean, at least Persona, you could make the argument that it's a pretty niche and unheard of franchise. Unlike something like The Witcher, where, my god, that got a lot of complaints. But anyway, I suggest we end this episode before we start offending a minority.
Yeah, again, we do not mean it. We do not mean that they changed Mark black in a weird way. It's just weird that for some reason they just did that. Yeah. We're done now.
Yeah.